Steve Winwood wasn't supposed to sound like that at 15. While other kids were doing homework, he was standing under nightclub lights with a voice that already carried the weight of a weary soul, and hands that moved across a Hammond organ like they'd lived a lifetime. He wasn't imitating anyone. He had soaked up blues, jazz, gospel, and rock until they fused into something unmistakably his. While most young musicians copied records, Winwood inhaled them, turning every groove into instinct. From the Spencer Davis Group to Traffic, Blind Faith, and his solo years, he never stopped searching for that perfect mix of honesty and mastery. These albums didn't just inspire him, they shaped him, deepened him, and taught him what real musical truth sounded like. Track 1. The Genius of Ray. Charles Winwood heard Ray Charles and immediately recognized the path he wanted to walk. Ray's 1959 masterpiece blended jazz, blues, gospel, and orchestral soul with impossible ease. Ray's voice could break you in one breath and lift you the next. His piano playing, equal parts preacher and poet, became Winwood's earliest textbook. Ray taught him that music had no borders, only feeling. Track 2. Folk Singer. Muddy Waters. When Winwood discovered Muddy Waters' Folk Singer, he realized the power of quiet. Muddy didn't need amplifiers or a full band. He needed a guitar, a chair, and the truth. Songs like My Home is in the Delta taught Winwood that rawness could be more explosive than volume. Technique mattered, but authenticity mattered more. Track 3. Kind of Blue. Miles Davis's Kind of Blue froze time for Winwood. Modal jazz, space between notes, and musicians speaking a secret language in real time. This was freedom. Winwood learned that silence could be part of the melody, that improvisation was a conversation, and that the deepest emotion came from restraint rather than showmanship. Track 4. Green Onions, Booker T, and the MGs. The Hammond B3 found its modern master in Booker T. Jones. Green Onions taught Winwood how to make the organ growl, groove, and glide. Booker played with precision and soul, proving that simplicity could be devastatingly powerful. Winwood built much of his own style on the lessons inside those 4 hypnotic minutes. Track 5. Revolver. The Beatles. When Winwood heard Revolver, he felt permission to evolve. The Beatles turned the studio into an instrument backward guitars, string experiments, loops, layered soundscapes. Revolver told Winwood that pop could be bold, imaginative, even fearless. It pushed him to leave safety behind and create the boundary-breaking world of Traffic. Track 6. A Love Supreme. Coltrane's A Love Supreme was more than music. It was devotion pressed onto vinyl. 4 movements of spiritual fire, discipline, and surrender. Winwood realized that music could be prayer, improvisation, a form of meditation, and performance, an act of searching for something higher. That spiritual intensity lived in his organ solos for decades. Track 7. Mr. Fantasy Traffic's debut wasn't Winwood praising himself. It was him acknowledging the moment he finally felt free. Recorded in an English cottage far from the industry, Mr. Estop, Fantasy was 4 young musicians exploring without rules. It taught him the most important lesson of all: trust the music, let it lead, and dare to get lost. Track 8. The Hidden Influence. Beyond the classics, Winwood carried quieter influences: folk records, gospel choirs, street blues, and West African rhythms. They shaped his instincts, his chord choices, his sense of groove. Every album he loved added a new color to his palette. Track 9. The Legacy These Albums Built. By studying these records, Winwood didn't just learn music. He learned truth, soul from Ray, grit from Muddy, space from Miles, groove from Booker, courage from the Beatles, spirituality from Coltrane, and freedom from Traffic. These weren't just albums. They were teachers,